Welcome to the Doom Buggy Diaries. I'm Malia.
And I'm Nicole, and we're your host, your ghost host.
Today's episode, we're going to be ranking all of the rides in Magic Kingdom. So,
yeah, we're going to be doing it on through three different categories. Sorry, I had to think of my words. Queue, theming, and fun.
Yeah, so we're each going to give it a rating out of 10 for each category, and then we're going to go through and average all of them, and then rank them worst to best.
And if y'all see us looking down, or looking or clicking, or hear us clicking or anything like that, the laptop's over here, and that has all the rides and where we're going to be typing our ranking, so just ignore it.
Yeah, we're going to go through each area of the park, and we're going to start in Main Street. So the only one there is the Walt Disney World Railroad. So this one is kind of, I don't know if we should super include it, but we'll just go ahead and go through the three different ones.
Yeah.
So if you want to start off with your three for queue, theming, fun.
So for queue, I would say it depends on where for me. So I guess a 5, because if you're thinking of when you first get on at Main Street, I like how you can see the castle. It's you can see everything. It's beautiful. But if you get on at Frontierland or Circus or anything like that, it's not really it's just another queue.
Yeah, I'd probably I'll go to a 2. I think the only good part is the Main Street.
Yeah.
But that's okay. For theming, I'm gonna give it for the whole entire ride in itself, I'll do a 3. And whatever you want to say.
I was going to say the same thing, as it's a 3. It's not, I don't know.
It's just okay.
It's mid.
There's not really much to that. The other rides will be deeper than this, but this is just...
This is the first one.
Fun.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You go first.
It's only fun when you're tired and you're trying to get out of the heat. In my opinion, that is the only redeeming quality. I'd say it's a 2. Maybe 1.
Alright, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
It'll be a 2 and a 1. So we'll average that out of 10 later.
Yeah.
So, on to Tomorrowland. We're going to start off strong with Tron.
Okay.
It's a banger.
And do you want to lead?
Yeah, I'll go first. So, queue. See, I like the pre-show. I think that's included in the queue.
Yeah.
The pre-show is cool. There's not much to it. I'll give it probably a 5.
I was gonna say, I think when it comes to the queue, it's alright, and then you get inside and it's good.
Yeah, the heat. The heat sucks, though.
Even the outside, I kind of like the outside queue.
It's so miserable.
I don't like the switchbacks.
Yeah, that is kind of annoying.
As soon as you walk through, it's back and forth and back and forth, and then they have these fans in inconvenient spots, and I remember one time standing there and my skirt flying up.
Oh,
so yeah.
Was I there, or is that a different one?
Yeah, that you were there. It was when
that.
it first opened.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, I'd say it's a 5.
We'll go with a 5 for both. You want to start off with theming?
Theming, a 10. 10, because it matches the theme of Tron itself. I like it. I don't have any other words. The queue, everything about it, the theme of it, that kind of cyberpunk type stuff.
I'd say I might have been harsh on the queue, but whatever. The theming, I won't go for a 10. I think it looks great, but there's not much to the ride itself. The theming of when you're on the ride is cool, but you get in and then it's just a couple screens. I'll give it a 7.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
As for fun, I'll give this a 10. I think it's fun.
I think it's really fun. I don't like how short it is, because it is a very short ride. I'd say it's an 8 because it is very fun. I love to sit up on it. Most people will lean down like that. But sitting up like that and it's so much fun.
It is pretty fun. Yeah. So you give it a 10 as well?
I'd say 10.
Alright, you start off strong on this one.
Astro Orbiter. This one, I like it. However, it is very cramped. They try and fit 2 at a time.
Well, what do you think about the queue?
Oh,
first?
my bad. hold on. Let's step back. I'm jumping ahead of myself.
Yeah, you're getting too far.
I need to tone it back. The queue itself, it's like, I think it's like a 3.
Fair enough.
3 at best.
I'm gonna give this one a 1.
Yeah.
I think that there's literally nothing in the queue, and you have to go on a dumb elevator with a bunch of people that stink.
Yes. Oh my gosh,
But-
the amount of times getting on that with, like, someone who clearly needed to put on deodorant.
As for theming, I'm gonna give this also a 1.
Yeah.
Do you have any?
I think the same. It's like, you can see all of Tomorrowland. I think that's the only thing.
There's just
about
nothing
it.
else to it that makes it
Yeah.
special. It's a spin ride. I think it's probably the best spin ride, but it's still just a spin ride. So
See, and I'm gonna have to disagree that it's the best.
we'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
As far as fun goes, I'd say it's like a. Let's give it a 5.
A
'Cause-
5, okay.
Nah, I feel like I'm going too hard on that. Maybe a 4.5.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do a 4.5. Because, like, it's fun when you're on it. I enjoy the height. I like heights and stuff like that. I've never been bugged with heights and things like that. It's fun. It's just, you just go in a circle.
Yeah,
That's it.
I mean, I think it is the most thrilling of the spin rides, so I have to give it kudos for that. I also think it's fantastic at night. Fireworks too. I mean, we've never done it, but I really want to, and that's going to be something we do on this trip, for sure.
Which will be in a later podcast.
I'm going to give it, I'll do a 6. I think it's the best you can get for something like that,
Yeah,
as for fun.
that's fair.
The next one is Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. It's getting an update soon, so that will probably change the score if we do a rescore. So
Yeah,
I'm excited for that. It needs it. The
definitely.
queue, I actually, besides the outside part where you're just twisting and
The
it sucks.
switchbacks, yeah.
You got the Buzz animatronic, so I think that's really cool. It plays, that dumb march music that just keeps repeating. I'll do a 6. I'd say it's better than average. Yeah, so 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. Because later we're gonna have to do the other one, Toy Story Mania. So.
That'll be at a different rating, though.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because, yeah, that's true.
But still, I guess you can compare it to that too. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of. I guess for Q, I think a 6 is pretty good. I think
You sure you think it's a 6?
a 6 is pretty good because of the fact the theming is really good. Like, it's not the best. There's definitely better theming with some other cues. However, I think with this ride, you can't really do much with it because half of it's outside and because how big the area is.
Fair enough. Do you want to start off with theming?
Okay. Theming. It's a 9 or 10. It hits all the cues for Toy Story. The inside, it's completely themed to Toy Story. You don't have random some rides, when you go through the queue, it's there's random things that they kind of subtly hint towards whatever that ride's going for, but this one, it nails all of the things.
So what would you say?
I'd say a 6. Oh, for theming?
Yeah.
I said 9 or 10.
So which one?
9.
Okay.
We'll do 9.
Theming. I mean, I don't think it's the best of the best, but me personally, the theming isn't my favorite. Some rides I feel like I go because of the theming. I don't think I go because of the theming. I think I go because it's fun. But I'd probably give the theming a 6. Better than average. I don't think anything special to me, but we all have different opinions, so yeah. And as for fun, I'm a competitive person.
Yeah.
So, give me any type of game and I'm there. So, personally, obviously it's not Tron fun. So, that's a different level. So, I give it probably an 8 for me personally. But
I'd say it's like, I'd say it's about a 7. It's not. It's better than Toy Story Mania. I know I'm bringing it up, but it's better than Toy Story Mania because
That's
you
a
don't
hot
have to, like...
I disagree.
I feel like we're gonna get into a fight.
Yeah.
When it comes to Hollywood Studios. In my opinion, I think it's better than Toy Story Mania. I like how the things aren't just screens. Like,
that's fair.
I like the idea that there's actually targets you can hit, and then also you're not having to pull the ball, and then your arm hurts, so you have to slow down. I don't like... blah, 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 blah. I like that. I like how if you get tired, or your arms get tired, you can just rest them and shoot the button. And they have the whole galactic hero thing. So,
Sure.
I think that's really cool. So yeah, I'd say, 7. Because it's not the best of the best, but it's pretty fun.
So, Space Mountain?
Space Mountain Q, 10 out of 10. You cannot convince me otherwise. The music, the atmosphere, everything, 10 out of 10.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, I might give it a 9, but I have no reason to. I think personally it's a 10. I don't. But my thing is like I feel like there's other rides in Magic Kingdom with a better queue, better queue. So like, does it?
I mean,
compete? I think I have to give it a 9. I'll do a 9.5 because I feel kind of bad because I think it deserves it. But
even if there's better, like, you can still rate them the same. Like,
fair enough.
That's how I feel anyways. That's why I'm giving things highs and lows, is because, like, if I may give another Q a 10 out, 10 out of 10.
I'm going to go ahead and give theming a 9. The only reason why I wouldn't give it a 10 is because the rest of the ride is in the dark. You can't see anything. So this, like, that part isn't themed. You're just in space. But I think the ride carts are nice. I don't know, the tunnels are cool. The picture is my favorite spot, but we'll get there with the fun part. So yeah, I think theming is 9. It's good. It's really good, I would say. So
I'd say it's a, like, 8.5, 9. So I'll just do it an 8.5, so I'm different than you. But I agree with everything she said. It has very good theming. It's just in the dark. And especially if you go during Halloween, that ride is pitch black, and it is the scariest thing that I have ever done. Are you trying to hold my hand?
No, I keep touching your hand.
Anyways, so 8.5.
For fun, this is a no-brainer. It's a 10. I think it's a family favorite. I mean, I think that's like the one ride I look forward to the most when we go. Yeah. I love Guardians is, my favorite to be on, but everybody in our family loves this ride.
Yes.
And the best part is the picture spot.
Yeah.
Changing up the pictures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fun memories, things like that. I think
I have to post some of those on the Instagram.
Yes, that would be so fun. I agree with her completely. 10 out of 10 for fun. I have never ridden that ride and not had fun on it. Like, you can be in any part of the vehicle and still have fun. There's not, like, some rides it's better to be up front, some rides it's better to be out back. Some people prefer to be in the back for this ride because you don't feel like you're getting your head chopped off. No, I prefer the front.
I prefer that's just me. The middle. I feel like I'm gonna die if I'm in the front or the back. Like, my head might get chopped off.
See, meanwhile, I'm the one who raises their hands up in the front.
Playing with her life, basically.
It's okay.
Next up is, are you done with that one?
Yeah.
You good?
We live and we learn.
Tomorrowland Speedway.
Q. I think like a 2.
Okay.
Like, there's... The only redeeming quality is that you can see part of Tomorrowland, because half of it you see Fantasyland and the teacups and stuff like that. And, like, there's not really a queue to it. Like, there is, but the queue is, like... Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 2 also, because I would give it a 1, but I feel like I'm being a little harsh.
Yeah.
So, we have, like, super extremes. I'm trying to make it not as crazy. As for theming, see, I'm not sure, because I think that the ride itself, when you're on it and you're like driving the cars,
The ride sucks.
okay, it's not fun. However, it's not fun, I'll give you that. But it's pretty. Like, you can see the castle and Tron and everything.
Yeah.
So, just because I feel like I need to be a little bit nice, I'll give the theming a 3.
See, I'm not being nice. The theming's like a 2.
32.
You know what? 32 is fine.
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I'd say 2, maybe 1.5 if it's
Go with 2.
Yeah.
Give it some credit.
I'll give it some credit because of being able to see, like, cool things, but again, it's not really good. As far as fun goes, I'm gonna put it a 1. I was gonna put 0, but I can't lie. Trying to race little kids is pretty fun. That's the only redeeming quality. But even then, like, the cars definitely need an update.
Well, I think they should, I don't know. There's something nostalgic about, like, the gas cars, but I think it would be 12 times better if it was electric.
Well, even then, like, let's say you do continue with the gas cars, there's a better way they can do that. Like, it doesn't go that fast, so you're just going slow. It stalls out sometimes. Some of the cars, they'll, like, just stop moving sometimes, and it's very scary, especially if you have someone behind you.
I think it could be fun. I wish they would re-theme it to Wreck-It Ralph.
That
like the
would
Candy
be
Crush.
fun.
Wait, not Candy Crush. What is it called? Whatever. You know, Vanellope the Racers.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool. But it's not that. So.
Yeah. If it was that, I feel like it would be so much better. Especially if they if they had the car that they have when Vanellope's, if you've been to the Christmas parade, you know the car that Vanellope rides around in, and she'll, like,
cool.
skirt. I feel like they should do that if
That'd be cool.
they had an update.
They probably won't, but
yeah.
fun. I'll give it a 2.5 because I have great memories on this with my parents. And I think kids love this ride.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not a kid anymore. So I have to, this is our ranking, not, for families, I guess.
I think also it definitely, some of our stuff is different because she's been going to Disney since she was little, as for my first time was literally 5 years ago. So, and I was an older teenager, so.
You were an adult. Well, I guess not that one time you went.
Yeah,
but
the
then
first time, yeah.
Okay, next up. We might disagree a little bit because I'm a People Mover fan.
See,
I'm such a fan.
You act like I hate the People Mover.
But I don't think you enjoy it as much as I do, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
I mean, Q, I hate that I'm going to have to give it a 1 because this will not make the top rides. So we might have to readjust once we see Charlie. Don't mind the dog.
Yeah.
He's a chihuahua. I can't control him. I'm going to be real.
We should have brought him in here and locked him in your closet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's literally nothing. The queue is just switchbacks, and you go up the escalator thing, and then you're there. So I can't. I love the ride, but I can't.
See, I'll give it a 2 because some rides you have. Okay, I have my reasonings. No. It only has 1 redeeming quality, so I'll do a half. Okay.
What's the redeeming quality?
If you've been standing all day and you're just going up that escalator, it is nice. You don't have to walk upstairs. Sure. You're not on an elevator with stinky people. It's nice. And that's the only redeeming quality of that queue. As for theming, I'll give it like 7.5. No, 8. I'll do an 8. And I was gonna do 7.5 just because, like, I don't even know. I don't really know how to describe my answer, but it is a internal feeling. But it has a lot of things, like, that go along with history and the history of Tomorrowland, and part of the reason I gave it an 8 is because it's talking about Epcot in Magic Kingdom. I feel like that does not go along with the theme, but that's just me personally.
But it's talking about Tomorrowland, and that's what Epcot is supposed to be. But I'm extremely biased, so I'm gonna give it a 9. The only reason, because the queue has 0 theming.
Yeah.
But I will say, there's not a ugly view on this ride.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
I like all the history, or like, it'll like, you can go through like the shop, for example, or you can see inside Space Mountain.
And you can see the exit queue for Space Mountain.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's fun too.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I get it.
I guess I'll go first for fun. It's not fun.
What?
But it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put the two together because I can't give it a low. I personally can't do that.
This is gonna be me with pirates. You know
No,
that.
I like pirates.
Well,
I don't
know
like
that.
boat rides, which we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I'm uncomfortable on boats. So I'm gonna give it a fun what? I'm gonna give fun a 9.
You're gonna give it a fun?
Because when has anybody had a bad time on the People Mover? Or like, you're in the shade, it's covered, it's a break, it's always a quick wait. I physically can't. You can.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my gecko's out. Sorry.
Where is she?
She's on the log. I have a crested
Aww.
gecko named Hopper. She should make an appearance one day, but
Yeah.
go ahead.
So for fun, I'm so sorry, Malia. I'm not doing this to hurt you. I'm gonna give it a 6.
Okay.
And it's just boring. Like, it's fun when you're hot, you're sweaty, you're just trying to get out of the heat.
It's not fun when you're not hot? We're gonna agree to disagree. I said there would be hot takes.
I think it's fun learning about the different things. If it's hot and you need to get off your feet for a bit, I feel like that's the fun part about it. But other than that, it's just boring. You're just sitting there. It's slow. It takes, especially if you're trying to do challenges and things like that, it takes a decent minute out of your day.
But I have to say, I think this is one of the only rides where you can say you're on the ride longer than you wait in the queue.
Yes, that is true. That is very true.
That is also something I should have taken into consideration with Tron, because it is a very long wait for
no reason.
30 seconds.
Yeah.
So, whatever. We're going to go to Fantasyland with the Barnstormer being first. I'll start with the queue,
Yes.
I guess. The queue isn't... I guess it's bad. I was going to say it's not bad. I'll give it a 3. I mean, it's got, like, the posters and the aviation stuff, but that's about it. It's also in the sun.
Yes.
So I might give it a... Actually, I'm going to take that back. I'm going to give it a 2. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 3. Like she said, it has the aviation... What are you doing?
Figment.
It has the aviation stuff. It has the posters. I don't remember much about it just because I only rode it once and it was my first time going, and also it was very cramped in that little seat.
It is.
But it's also made for toddlers, so...
True. You want to go for theming?
So for theming, because it's in like the circus area of Fantasyland, I'm gonna go with a 7. And the only reason I say that is because it matches everything that's in the ride. It matches. It's silly. It's goofy. Literally, no pun intended. Even though there was no pun in it, but it's goofy. And then you go through that sign. I think it's just really cute.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually give it a 4. The only reason why is I feel like outside rides are a lot harder to do theming on.
Yes.
That's not its fault, but it is true. And I also just I don't know. We have different opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah. The only that's why I gave it a 7 also is because like I took into consideration that it's not going to be as good as like Tron, for example, or it's not going to be as good as some of the other rides theming, but the theming it does have, it's really good. So,
As for fun, I'll give it a 3. It's extremely short, but it is one of the only roller coasters that younger kids can ride, and I have to give it credit for that, even though I'm not a young kid. I feel like it's not fair to say it's not fun because it's not a big roller coaster. So,
I'm going to give it a 5. But that's also because I'm short and I can enjoy the ride without. It is cramped, I will say. The seats are very cramped if you're a taller person. But I don't have to go through that because I am short. It was fun. It's also made for younger kids, so it's not like as thrilling as Tron or anything like that. But it's fun.
fair enough.
Average 5.
Next up is Dumbo.
Dumbo for the queue. I absolutely love the queue. Like, that's just me. I'm gonna give it a 9, or... Yeah, you know what? It deserves a 9. Because, one, the queue is very short. The wait times usually are very short. Not to mention, they also have a play area for the little kids to go play on, and you don't have to wait in the line. Your kids can go run off, play on the playground, and they get a buzzer. Yeah, whoever will get a buzzer, whoever's watching the kid on the playground gets a buzzer, and then you go and you ride Dumbo. And I think that is something a lot of rides need.
I was about to say.
As somebody who worked, like, an attraction, it would make wait times a lot shorter, if I'm being honest.
I don't think it would make wait times shorter. However, I think that it would make families happier.
Yeah.
So
Not shorter, but
I'll give it an 8 because that's the only cool thing. It's really cool. The playground's great. You don't find that literally anywhere else. But that is it. So yeah. As for theming, there's not much theming. I mean, I guess it's kind of like a circus, sort of inside. But other than the playground, there's not much. So I'm going to give it a 5. I think the playground's great. The theming for the playground is great. But the ride itself is not crazy. I don't know.
I'm going to give it a 6 because as I agree with you, I think that it is better than some other things that have theming involved with it, if that makes sense. Like, there are some things where the theming, or some things, by that I mean rides, where the theming isn't, there. So,
yeah.
Like, good intentions, but bad execution.
Do you want to go first for fun, or?
Okay. For fun, I'd say it's a 5. It's a spin ride. There's nothing to it, other than you're riding Dumbo. I think it's a little bit more fun than other spin rides. But as far as spin ride goes, it's a classic.
It is a classic.
I had fun when I was riding it with you for the first time, so
we had fun.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give it a 4. I feel like anything higher, I'm just lying to myself a little bit. I don't know. It's fun, but it's not close to, like, anything else.
I like
spin
spin
rides. In my opinion.
So,
and I don't.
Yeah.
Super. So, next up is the Under the Sea Journey of the Little Mermaid. For queue, I'm actually going to give it an 8. I think the queue is great. This queue reminds me of Nemo in Epcot, and I love that queue. I mean, it's like, the queue is so long for a wait that doesn't exist, but the queue is great. I mean, and you can see the Mickey on Mickey's birthday every year. The hidden Mickey.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I don't know.
I'm agreeing with you with an 8. Like, it's not as good as other queues, but the queue it does have, I really like it. I like you said, it reminds me of Nemo. I like when you're waiting and it is, for whatever reason, a long wait, you can look around and every single time you're in that queue, you'll find something different. And it's the same with Nemo. So,
True.
8's just a good number for that. As for theming, I'd say it's a 10. I love Omnimover rides. I think when they were going for the Little Mermaid theme and stuff like that, I think they knocked it out of the park. I love the different scenes they have in it. I love singing along. If I'm like, I'll quietly sing along because I don't want to ruin the experience for other people. But I remember when we were like, it was going slow and we almost got stuck on it. I think it was just letting like a wheelchair user on. But I was sitting there in the clamshell and I was singing along and staring at her parents and her just enjoying it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 6. The queue is great, but the ride itself it's a dark ride and an omnimover. I like both of those combined. I like the music. But that's really it.
To each their own.
As for fun, though, it's not really fun. It's enjoyable. I think, this can be fun / enjoyable, because I think they have two different,
I agree with that for this one.
It's not a must-do. I think anything that's like 7 and above is a must-do. So I'm going to give it a 5. I'll do it. I'll gladly do it. I won't complain. It's a break from the heat, but it's about it.
I agree with her. But I'm going to go a step above and do a 6. Match the 6 that I did earlier. I'm going to do a 6 just because not the 6 that I did earlier, whatever. The 6 that she did. Anyways, I have never had a bad time on this ride.
No, I haven't either.
Like, I genuinely, I've never tried to rush it or never felt the need to rush the ride. It's enjoyable. I will say it's not as fun as other rides. However, I have very good memories with this ride and have always, I've always enjoyed it. It was the first ride I rode when I started my college program, because we did a tour around Magic Kingdom and they were like, let's go on a ride. So we went on Little Mermaid, and just a sentimental thing for me. But
that being said, we've still got a bunch to rate, but we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back. We're back and ready to start ranking again.
Yes.
So we're coming back strong with
the Mad Tea Party. For Q, I said Q and I read it as I said it as the letter
Q.
Yeah.
I mean, it works.
Yeah. For Q, I would give it it's like the carousel, but the carousel's better.
I think the carousel's better.
Yeah, the carousel's better, so maybe a 2. I would say a 2. Because it's shaded, it's nice when it's hot, but you're just going in a circle, and then they corral, they pre-plan it, so, you'll go through, you'll be in line, and then they'll say, oh, I'm going to count you, go ahead, stop there. So you're in, this big huddle with people that you don't know, that you're not really lined up because it's a giant square, and then you get on the ride. And I don't like that aspect, because I feel like you should, if you were further up in the line, you should be able to get the teacup that you want.
I think the Q's a 1. There's nothing to it.
Yeah.
Theming, I'll give it a 2. My phone keeps buzzing. I'll give it a 2 because, it's cool. It's cute, but I don't think there's that much to it.
I think it's 2. I would say 2 too. Only because the only thing that it's redeeming is, 1, it's Alice in Wonderland theme, but also I like the mouse that pops up out of the teacup. Or
that is cute.
The tea kettle. It's very cute. For fun, I am gonna rate it a 7. Or not a 7, a 5. Because I personally really like the fact that you can spin it. Of course, it doesn't go fast and stuff like that, but I have never not had fun on that ride. I like to spin it as fast as I can and feel dizzy after, and I get that experience. But other than that, there's nothing to it. It's short, so yeah.
I'm not like a super big spin person. I'll do it, but I don't find it like very enjoyable. So I'll give it a 4 though, because I think that it's got potential.
Yeah.
Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. I'll go ahead and say the queue. I'll give it an 8. I think it's probably one of the better queues out of everything in Magic Kingdom. It's fun. It's got like the barrels you spin and like the music stuff. I think I don't ride it that often. I think the score has to go down in other categories because of the stupid wait that it's always had.
Yes.
However, since Tron and Tiana's, the wait hasn't been that bad.
It's been like less than an hour recently, which is
good.
Insane for Seven Dwarfs. Like, it's gotten to a tolerable wait, and it's the same with Peter Pan, in my opinion. Like, it just recently, because of Tiana's and Tron opening up and not being virtual queue anymore, it's actually tolerable. For me, for the queue, I would say it's a 7. Yes, it's good. Yes, I like it. It has a bunch of musical aspects of it. And, like, I like when you spin all the barrels at once. It'll, like, do a really cool picture at the top, at the roof. However, there's been times where little kids will just sit there spinning on the barrel, not looking in front of them, and I am trying to get on. Please keep up with the party in front of you.
They're just having fun.
Yeah, they're having fun, and like, good for them, but also, please have mercy on my soul. But yeah, so that's why I gave it a 7, is because those little kids, and also the queue sucks. Like, when it comes to wait times. For theming, 9. It's one of the better themed rides, in my opinion. I love how the barrels, when you're moving, it moves side to side. I like at the end of the ride, they thought about waiting, because you have to wait for the other people to get off and get on before they can send it. I like how they thought of that, and when you look to your right, you can see Cinderella. No.
Snow White. One of those.
You can see Snow White dancing with Dopey, and I think that is really cute, so I give it a 9.
Theming, I'll stick with an 8, because I think the best part of the theming is the queue. The ride's fine, but I think the queue is where most of the theming is. So
yeah.
As for fun, it's one of those things with Tron where the ride itself is good, but it's way too short for the wait. However, I think Tron is a lot more fun than this. Yeah. I'll give it a 7. I said that anything above a 7 is a must-do. I don't think this is a must-do, but I'll leave it at 7.
See, and that's my hot take, because yes, I think I would say it's a 7 too, but my thing is I think if you're only going once, and it's a short enough wait, it's not like 80 minutes long like I've seen it, or 70 minutes long, I think it's a must-do. It's really fun. Little kids love it. I think it's fun. I like rocking in the barrels, but that's just me. It's not as fun as Tron or some of the other rides, but the only thing bringing it down a lot is how short the ride is.
It's short.
It is very short.
Next up is The Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. Do you want to start?
Yeah. The queue, I really like the queue. There's a lot of interactive features in it. I would say it's a 7, only because on hot days, standing outside, because part of the queue is outside, is disgusting. Also, some of the queue, when I rode it, because I've only ridden it a few times, but the first time I rode it, it was during COVID times, and half the queue was closed.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd say when it's open, it's really cute. I like it. So 7's a good point for me because it's better than other queues, but also it's hot.
I'm going to give it a 7 as well because just the interactive part of it. It's a kids ride and they have a lot of things for kids. It's like Dumbo where for the kids, I mean, it's awesome because there's so many different things to touch and play with and all that. So I think 7's well deserved. For theming, I don't know. I'm going to give it a 6 because I think it's better than average. But the ride itself, the queue, is where I think most of the theming went.
Yeah.
Because the ride, is a little lackluster in my opinion.
The ride doesn't really have a plot to it. I would say it's a... we'll go with 7. We'll go with 7 again. I know I'm loving my 7s right now. But I think it's better than some rides, in my opinion. But also, most of the rides have a plot to it. This ride does not.
It probably has a plot. I just don't know what the plot is.
Exactly.
So.
Also, being on that ride in your own little honey pot is terrifying, in my opinion. But that's just me. For fun, I'd say a 6. It's like, it's not terrible. It's not like you don't have to ride this ride, but also you're just moving in a honey pot, and there's some elements that can make it fun. But if it was me, I would just avoid it. That's why I've only ridden it a few times.
Fair enough. I probably would give it a 5. I think it's average. I mean,
yeah.
I gave what? Yeah, I gave The Little Mermaid either a 5 or a 6. I don't remember. And I think it's on par with that. I think I would prefer Little Mermaid, so...
Yeah. You gave it a 5 because I gave it a 6 for...
Oh, okay. Then that checks out. Next up is the Carousel, Prince Charming. The queue, I'm going to go ahead and say a 1. There's no queue, really. It's pretty, but it's not like a themed area.
I agree it's a 1, especially because all of it's outside. Like, I think it would have one redeeming quality if it was shaded like the Mad Tea Party.
Well, I think it's shaded. I think part of the queue is shaded.
But not a lot of it. And the wait's always extremely long for no reason.
Yeah.
For theming, I'd say it's a 3. Because there's literally nothing to it other than horses, but it's right behind the castle, and I think it's really cute where it is. And then I also like the fact that Prince Charming's horse, you can find it on there.
That's cute.
And then I think that's really cute. So
for theming, I'm gonna go with 2, because I think like the history part of it is cool. It's a piece in history basically. It's really old. It's the oldest thing there. Yeah, but I mean, I gotta be honest, there's not really anything. For fun, I like a carousel. I think...
That's a spinning ride.
Yeah. See, I'm thinking I gave Winnie the Pooh a 5, and I gave Ariel a 5, and I'd much rather ride those, so I'm gonna give it a 4, because I don't hate it, but I just never feel like we ride it, really.
Yeah.
So.
I've been thinking of it kind of like each of these rides are their own rides. I haven't been trying to compare it to like the Mad Tea Party or anything like that, just because they're their own separate rides in my opinion. Except for Aladdin's Magic Carpets, Dumbo, and Astro Orbiter, but we'll get to that. The carousel, in my opinion, I would say it's fun. I would go with a 3. Like, it's fun, yes. I would ride it, but also it's a carousel. The horses go up and down.
That's about it, yeah.
Yeah. For Peter Pan's Flight, the queue, I personally really like this queue. It is one of my favorites, along with one that is coming up shortly, ish. It's in Frontierland, by the way. But, not this, but the one that's coming up. I'm giving it a 10. 100%. All of it's basically shaded unless you're rope dropping. So it's very nice. Once you get inside, there's a lot of interactive features. I love how you can see your shadows. There's a part with butterflies, and then you can go inside Wendy's room and stuff like that, and they have like life-size beds and things like that. It is extremely cute. And then they have this Tinkerbell that'll go around, and it is so stinking cute. I'd say it's a 10 in my opinion.
And this is where we differ. I'm gonna give it a 6. I don't. A good queue, I'm like fine with waiting in. I don't like. It's fine. It's better than average. But I just don't really care for it. For theming, I'll give it a 5. I think it's average. The queue is what I don't like this ride. So.
Okay. This is where we differ again. I think the theming is like an 8. Because on the outside features of the ride, it's themed very well. I think the inside is also very cute. I like the fact that you're in a giant pirate ship floating and stuff like that. But I do have to agree that most of the theming is within the queue. So that's what brought it down for me. But honestly, I won't... Yeah, it's just cute. Anyways, for fun, for me, I'm going to say it's like a 5. Because it's not the better rides. It's not like any of the other rides that are going to be mentioned or has been mentioned. It's a basic Omni mover. The only difference is the moving part of it is on top. So, like, you can look underneath. I think that's really cool. And it gets you out of the heat for, like, 5 minutes. Not even 5 minutes. Like 2 minutes. But I think it's cute. So, I'd say a 5.
I'm having an issue because I think that between Winnie the Pooh and The Little Mermaid and Peter Pan, I would not pick Peter Pan. But I feel bad giving it less than a 5 because I think it's average.
See, but that's the thing is I agree with you on that.
But I also, no, I'm going to go for a 4. The only reason why is because the other 2 rides at least have usually okay waits.
Yeah.
This one, I will not wait for.
Yeah.
I will not rope drop it either. I might, it might be the second ride.
Yeah.
But I don't, it's not it for me. And that's okay.
And with that, we are going to It's a Small World. So for It's a Small World, I'm rating the queue a 2. There's nothing about this queue other than like it being inside and the wait time being short 90% of the time that I have ever ridden it. So I'm just gonna go with a 2. I think the patterns on the wall is cute, but
I'm gonna give it a 4 because I think it's better than that. Okay. I don't care for the ride. I think the history of it is great, but that's mostly the one in Disneyland. But I think that it's cool. You basically get to watch them load and unload the entire time. I don't think the line is, it doesn't have switchbacks, so it's not like you feel like the line is never ending. I think it's okay. I like to do the little wish thing. You toss the coin in the water.
Oh, yeah. That's
I don't know if
cute.
we should, but whatever. For theming, I'll give it a 3 as being generous. Yeah. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be generous with that. The theming's a 2. It matches the Fantasyland theme just because of there's the clowns and the hot air balloon, and then there's the weird hippo that only winks, but the other eye closes with it. But that's about it.
Yeah.
So for fun, I'm giving it a 0. This ride is not fun. It is 8 minutes of torture. I don't even know how long this ride is.
I feel like we get stuck on it.
Yes.
Every single time, and it takes 25 minutes.
it is also, like, not exaggerating 6 minutes long of, it's a small world after all, and then it gets stuck in your head. Every time I've been on this ride, I've gotten a headache. I don't recommend this ride. That's just me. The history behind it's cool. But other than that, I'm good.
See, I always say this, but, like, I feel bad because, like, People Mover, I know it's not typically what people think is, you know, S-tier ride, but I don't like riding Small World, but I also know I like watching all the history stuff and, like, Mary Blair and all that, but if we were in Disneyland, that would be a different ride, the OG, so I'll give it a 1. If we were in Disneyland, it might be different, because then I would feel like the history is closer, but it's not. So, we're going to move on to Haunted Mansion, the queue. Well, this is, you know, the ride that this name came from. The queue is good, but there's only a short part of it that is good, and the rest is just waiting, and, like, I don't know. I think the pre-show is what makes me give it a higher rating, and I know you can play with the water and the, what is it?
The books.
The books, that's what it is.
There's the books, yeah.
So I'll give it a 7. I think the stretching room is really cool, but you're still in the heat for a majority of it, and I think it's kind of excruciating sometimes, so, yeah.
Also, we moved on to Liberty Square.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that.
So, we're now in Liberty Square right now. For me, the queue, this is also Ad-lib, Adventureland Liberty Square, I have a very soft spot for, just because that is, like, what I was stationed in. I never
worked it, though.
Yeah, but I was on the cross-training list to work here. I don't know what my place was when I left, but, for Q, I'm gonna have to agree, it's I'll do a 7.5, step away from the 7s. For me, I agree with that. I like the different interactive things. Also, I like when the doors close behind you, and I've had the cast members also are one of the things that make a ride good too, the queue or waiting or anything like that. Like, I've had cast members come and sneak around and scare me from behind while in the stretch room, and that's what the 0.5 is for, is the cast members. So,
yeah.
But yeah. For theming, I'm gonna have to go with a 10. And that's throughout this ride, the queue and the entire ride, it does not lose its purpose. You can see the story. Even through the queue, it tells you some of the story, and then it stays with that story the entire ride. It's very cute. The song's catchies. The song is catchy. I absolutely love it. So I'm going to give it a 10.
I'm going to be slightly more harsh. I'm going to give it a 9. The only reason why I would give it a 9 is just the part of the queue where there's nothing and you're just standing in the heat. You have, like, the horse.
Yes.
But it's just painful. Like, they used to have, like, the AC vents, but they don't work. So, yeah. Everything else is great, though. It's just that one part that I'm like, man, if they just did something there.
I've seen somebody drop their phone in the water before, right next to it. I can believe that. So.
For fun or enjoyability, it's definitely a must-do. So, yeah. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 10. I feel like I have to. It's a great ride. I can't be mad at it. We have to ride it every single time.
Yes.
5 times a trip, so.
Yeah. I agree. It's a 10. Because the fact that it's so enjoyable. The songs are catchy. Yeah, I just really like it. I have had, yes, it's an Omni mover. Yes, it's slow. But it is my favorite Omni mover in the entire Disney World. So
I mean, you got kind of the thrill, the scary part.
Yeah.
But it's not too scary to where, like, most kids can still ride it.
Yeah.
So.
And even then, like, there's ways that cast members have gotten around that and made it, like, kids less scared. Alright, Liberty Square Riverboat. For the queue, there's not really, I guess, I'm gonna go with a 1. There's not really a queue. You just stand and wait, like, inside a shaded area. I gave it a 1 just because there's benches that you can sit at. And then it's really cool. There's like a, what is it called? The thing that you push that to go through the metal bars.
A turnstile?
Yes, there's a turnstile.
That's
and
cool.
I think that's cool.
Okay.
Because not all rides have that.
Yeah, but I don't think it's necessary.
It's not necessary, but it matches the theme of getting on a boat. Like a train
Okay.
station or whatever.
Sure. I mean,
Anyways.
I give it a 1 because I don't feel like giving anything a 0. There's nothing about it. I don't think anything deserves a 0 really, but I understand.
Yeah.
Theming is gonna get a 1. This kind of goes back to the railroad where I feel slightly bad. The railroad is better than this. We rode it for the first time last trip I took. Yeah, it's going away. I think it's a centerpiece to the park, one of, but nobody really cares to do it. So.
Yeah, it's like a piece of history, but it's like no one really cares about that history. I agree. It's a 1. Yeah. So for fun, I'm sorry. It's not you, it's me. I'm giving it a 1 too. I think we have 1s across the board for me for this ride just because actually, you know what? No. I'm going to give it a 2. Only because I like sitting on the boat and like the wind going through my hair, and I like to look down at the people in Frontierland. That's it.
I'm going to give it a 4 because it's below average, but there's parts of Big Thunder Mountain Railroad that you don't see.
Yeah.
And some good picture spots. So
yes.
That's about it, really. Frontierland is, the first ride is Tiana's. The queue, I have beef with this queue because I like the kitchen part and I like the tunnels, even though I think the story kind of gets a little lost in this ride, but whatever. I have beef with the majority of the queue because it is all outside. So I'm going to give it a 3. I do not like waiting for this ride.
I'm gonna give it...
You said this was your favorite.
It is my favorite queue if we're not talking about the outside aspect, and honestly, I completely forgot about that. I like to block it from my memory. So, it was my favorite, and I'm still gonna rank it pretty high. I'm gonna rank it an 8. But it gets knocked down... No, I'm gonna rank it a 7.5. Just because... I'm going to knock it down those points because of the outside parts. You feel like you're in an oven. Because there's no shading, nothing like that. There's some inside parts, and that is my favorite part. The kitchen, and I love the letters from her dad. Or the letters to and from her dad and stuff like that. Those are really cute, and the recipes. I absolutely love it. But the outside is... intolerable. For theming for Tiana's, I would give it a 7. And that's because of when they first made this ride, they had different ideas, different theories, all of that. I feel like those rides, those ideas got lost when they were making the ride. There was some things that they should have added, some things that shouldn't have been in the ride, and I personally... It's a good ride. The theming's good. It matches the Tiana's theme, but yeah, that's just me.
Theming. I'll agree. I'll give it a 7. I think it's good. I think the cute little Ray and Evangeline thing on the tower and
yes.
all that is really cute. For the fun level, I'll give it a 9. I can't lie. I mean, it's a fun ride. I'll knock it 1 point because of how wet you get.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I'll give it a 9 as well, only because it is very fun. It is one of my favorite rides. It is a must-do in my opinion. However, if you're not in the mood to get wet, do not ride this ride. I rode it up front, and I was drenched when I got off that ride. However, my stuff was fine at my feet, so yeah. Alright, so for Big Thunder Mountain for Q, I'd say it's a 7. I know, I'm back on the 7s. It's fun. There's some interactive... Actually, you know what? No. I'm going to give it a 5. It's fun. There's some interactive features. However, half of them don't work. And it's a lot of going back and forth too. Even though it's technically not a switchback, it feels like it. But other than that, it's fine. I don't mind it. Sometimes it's outside and it gets hot, but yeah.
I'll give it a 6. The entire thing is outside. It's just covered. Although I do believe they're adding air conditioning to the queue. I heard that. I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
I think if everything worked, it would be a lot higher, but it doesn't. So
yeah,
and this kind of ties in with the next part, theming, because I think that theming carries the queue.
Yes.
I'm gonna give theming. I'll give it a 7 because I think the entire ride, the queue, the entrance, all of it is themed pretty well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I'm gonna say theming wise, it's an 8. My favorite part is the goat that's on there.
Oh yeah.
It is quite literally my favorite part. I do like the springs and the geysers that go up, or that are supposed to go up. But again, one of those aspects that I had never gotten to see it because all of that stuff stopped working before my first time going. But I also think that she is right. The queue carries the theme. So with that, we're going to move on to fun. Fun, I'd say it's an 8. I think it's fun. It's a roller coaster. It's kind of like, honestly, it's kind of like Barnstormer, except there's more No, hold on. It's kind of like Barnstormer in the sense that little kids can ride it and have fun. It is just more themed. And
I think it is a lot more thrilling than that. So I'm giving it a 10. I'll tell you that much.
It's also one of your favorites.